Hi everybody, I'm Jennifer Queen with the Jennifer Queen team, and if you've watched any of our videos on here, you've probably seen me tote at least once or twice the importance of staging your home and the impact it really has on your resale value. So today I'm going to talk about a few different options that there are at your disposal for staging options and which is best for each situation. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jennifer Queen with the Jennifer Queen team and RE/MAX Professionals here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And if you are considering putting your home on the market, then I am going to tell you that staging your home is one of the best returns that you can get on your dollar investment in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So good staging accomplishes a number of things when it comes to selling your home. The first thing is it will improve the flow of your home and actually make it feel bigger and brighter for your buyer. The second thing that staging your home will accomplish is it will actually eliminate the buyer's objections when they're touring your home. The third thing it accomplishes is it will also present a blank canvas so that buyers can envision themselves living within the home. And last but not least, it will also, statistically at least, get your home sell quicker and for more money. So there's a few options that we use here in Winnipeg, and it does vary from home to home, just which option we select. But the three options are a full stage, an accessory stage, as well as a virtual stage. So I'll explain what each of those are and when they're best used moving forward. So as your agent, we will have already toured your property. We will have gone through room by room with you, done an assessment, discussed with you if there were any projects that we think needed to be dealt with prior to sending in the stager. But from there, what we're going to do is we're going to consult with our stager as well. We're going to discuss with our stager, hey, we think that this is going to be a full stage, an accessory stage, or a virtual stage, but we want your opinion. And at that point, what she does is she will physically go out to your home and walk room by room with you as well and talk about the pieces within each room. Sometimes this visit is incredibly quick depending on how you keep the home, but sometimes this can be quite a lengthy visit in which things are actually moved around in that appointment itself. From this appointment though, there is usually a report that she will provide to both myself as well as you with plans for each room and recommendations. And then we go through that with you and figure out timelines at that point. So let's start with the first option, a full home stage. This option works best if a home is nearly vacant or completely vacant. So there's no furniture within the home and time is on our side. In this situation, the stager will come through and formulate a plan completely from scratch, which includes couches, art, furniture for different places, rugs, etc. Whatever it takes to make the home welcoming for the buyer instead of this cold blank canvas that they could potentially be walking into. This process does often involve hanging some art, so if you're not open to having nails put in the wall, that's something you should let us know in advance. We're not talking about anything super intrusive or anything like a small finishing nail here and there, but definitely something that you'll want to discuss with us if you're not open to that. Sometimes there are other options that we can use that are more of a peel and stick and are easier to take down after. My favorite thing about the stager we use is a lot of the time she'll bring in mirrors which help to reflect light and bring in additional light to spaces that might otherwise be dark. So there's kind of some staging tricks in there too to just kind of lighten spaces up. The whole staging process itself though, when the stager shows up for one of these full stages is pretty darn quick. They show up with a moving company typically and a van full of furniture, I shouldn't say van, and a truck full of furniture, and they unload, and usually the home is set up in about 3 hours. So the pictures that we're showing here are perfect for a case study. It's a home we just sold in Linden Woods. For this particular home, it was about 2,000 square foot, 2-story, and there were 3 bedrooms that needed to be furnished, a full living room, a full family room, a full dining room, and an eat-in kitchen, as well as a loft space that all needed a little bit of furnishing just to dress it up. So this is a prime example of one of those stages. It took about 3 hours of staging, and then it was picture ready, to be honest. It just needed a good mop from all of the people coming and going, because it's a messy time of year, but then we had the photographer and videographer in there the next day. So this type of staging is best utilized when a home is completely vacant or nearly vacant, like I said earlier, but also when there's spaces that might lack some definition. For example, this particular home had a room that was a living dining combo without furniture in it. It felt small. So by furnishing it, we kind of could show that there was space for both a table as well as a living area without sacrificing space on either, whereas that would have been hard to see without the furniture physically put in place. So the cost for a stage such as this is usually around $3,000 for this much furniture to be brought in. And that usually includes a month's worth of rent on the furniture. Of course, if you're sitting in a market where things might take longer to sell, just keep in mind you might actually have to pay a monthly rental if it's sitting on the market for longer than 30 days. I've yet to have that happen with a staged home, so I actually can't even speak to what the rental amount is monthly. But I know it's not the same $3,000. It's a much lower amount. That $3,000 includes the cost of moving the furniture in and out of the home, so I'm sure the monthly fee moving forward would not be nearly as substantial. So for this particular case study, we did pay for the staging. We did rope it into the commission, so we did charge a slightly higher commission on this one just to account for the difference it was going to cost us for doing that staging. But it's something that we are happy to do because we see the value in it and the return also for our clients. Now in this particular case, I was not the only realtor that gave an opinion of value on this home. There was another realtor that came in and gave their own assessment. And in speaking with the seller, they informed me that both myself and the other agent estimated that the difference in price from an unstaged versus staged home in this case would have been around $25,000. So we're talking about a $3,000 investment that resulted in $25,000 more for this client. And they did get the price that they wanted, so they were quite happy. The investment was well worth the return, in my opinion. The next option that we often use is what we call an accessory stage. So it's not to mean that it's only accessories that can be brought in, but this is typically more often what we use because a lot of the time the homes we're selling are already owner occupied. And what we find is that a lot of the time the furniture that is within the home is appropriate for the space itself. There might just need to be some required tweaks or bringing in of pieces, and this is what we call an accessory stage. So it's still the same process. The stager comes out, she walks room by room with you, and a lot of the time is making those tweaks on the spot. Sometimes it'll be remove this dresser, put it here, move this plant here, and kind of just dressing up the spaces and improving upon flow. Sometimes though, we are told to bring in pieces by the stager. And we do have a library of furniture for that. It just wouldn't be a full suite of furniture to stage a property from scratch necessarily. So in situations like that, where we do bring in some of our own staging, it's usually just a few pieces, like we have couches, dining tables, etc. So it's a few pieces like that, stuff that we can fit in our own personal vehicles and not necessarily hire movers for. It can be done relatively quickly as well, and usually the cost is well under $500 for those types of tasks. So it's a very different process, and usually as part of this process, the stager again comes in twice. Once at the beginning to give recommendations on a room by room basis, and then a second time to do those final tweaks at the end. Definitely the most popular option that we use. We don't tend to charge extra for this service. This is just something that we already include in our commissions. But definitely worthwhile going through that process and making sure that your home is properly presented throughout. Another option that we like to use when a property is completely vacant or nearly vacant as well is the virtual staging option. This is not any physical staging being done within a property. Instead, what it is taking the pictures that the photographer has gotten to us and actually imposing onto those furniture so that people can see just how big the space is. Now, a couple caveats to this. You need professional pictures to do this properly, or else it looks horrible. You also need a very qualified graphic designer. I've seen good pictures with poor staging, and I've seen poor pictures with good staging, but it looks horrible because the pictures were not great. So you definitely want to be hiring somebody that you know knows what they're doing when it comes to the virtual staging. I'm going to include some pictures here from a recent condo we did. Now this kind of staging is much less expensive. It can be done for as little as, I think it's about $20 US per picture. So if you are using 20 images though, it definitely can add up. And of course, the more pictures, the better. But I'll kind of show some before and after so that you can get a feel of what the room looked unstaged versus staged. But as you will see, the differences between the pictures are quite dramatic. This staging is ideal if perhaps budgets are a little tighter, like on a smaller condo such as this, and also if timelines are a little bit tighter, if somebody wants it on the market relatively quickly, because the pictures can happen as soon as tomorrow kind of thing, and then the virtual staging is usually completed within 24 to 48 hours from there. So it can be up in 2 days, really. So the case study here was a condo we did in Tuxedo. And it was a property that was nearly vacant. You'll see in a couple of the pictures that there were lights left just to try and brighten the rooms up. And then in the staging, they're still reflected in those pictures, but they've staged kind of around them. Now, just as a good case study, this was again a condominium in a market that has been a depressed condo market for the last several years. We got these pictures back, we posted the listing and held off showings for a couple days. And day one of showings resulted in 2 offers. So very uncommon to have a bidding war on a condo here in Winnipeg right now. But it just goes to show that it really does pay off to have proper pictures and media, because it really got that traffic. That listing was booked pretty much back to back that day. So well worth the investment. So as you can see here, there's a variety of different staging options available to you when you're selling your home. And in all honesty, consult with your realtor to see what is best for you. It's going to depend a lot, on your house, the area, the market, as well as timelines and pricing. What kind of staging is appropriate, but almost every home can benefit and should benefit from some form of staging, whether it be a full stage, an accessory stage, or a virtual stage. And just to kind of leave you in parting with some statistics that might help you in seeing the importance of staging a home. A recent study by the National Association of Realtors showed that 96% of buyers' agents do feel that staging has a major impact on how buyers receive homes. And additionally, it is believed that staged homes receive 1 to 5% more over those of unstaged homes. So the investment really, really is worth it in most cases. So quite frankly, if you aren't staging your home, you might just be leaving money on the table. I'll include a link to that study that I'm referencing below, just in case it interests you to read about it a little bit further. But again, I'm Jennifer Queen with the Jennifer Queen team and RE/MAX Professionals here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. If you enjoyed this content today, be sure to hit that like button below. And if you want to see our future videos, be sure to also subscribe to our channel. We're coming out with new content every week. And also, if ever you're in need of help for your Winnipeg home buying or home selling needs, be sure to reach out. My contact information is in the comments section below, and we are always happy to give advice. Thanks and have a good one, guys.